Alright, you want to do a little intro? We'll do a UGUE Brothers Vlogs. Make this video tonight. Hey guys, welcome to UGUE Brothers Vlogs. This is our channel that Rob and I started in conjunction with Urban Ghost Urban Exploration that we promised you guys we'd get you more videos on. I know Rob's been working hard on it. I think he said 4 videos, and then we have this one tonight. So oftentimes you guys come to us with questions and ask us, about things. And today my my soul was kind of bothered today, and this is like our opportunity to talk about things. So I thought the first thought that came to my head today was how blessed and fortunate we are. We have so much that we get from you guys, and so much that we want to give back likewise to you guys. And my soul was troubled because I said, wow, Joe, you're really not good. And what I mean by that is I wouldn't be good if I didn't give you guys information. And we have such an awesome responsibility, Rob and I, that we make these videos, that we put out a positive message. Sometimes when you do these videos, one of the hardest things that you have as a challenge is you deal sometimes with a lot of positivity, you deal with a lot of negativity as well, and sometimes that weighs heavy on your soul. There's so many people that reach out to us, and some people, some people are disabled and don't have the ability to get around and do the things we do, and they love these videos because of that. So many people who reach out to us and say, hey, thanks, you guys made me smile. And then there's people who attack those people too, and it's a sad situation. But this video is not about really promoting anything that's negative. It's about promoting things that are positive. So I wanted to talk to you guys about me, and Rob wants to talk to you about him. And the responsibility that we have to you is to always make sure that we give you guys such great content, but also to give you guys something that you could take away from this video. With that being said, likewise we get the same thing. My opportunity to come out here tonight to speak to you guys, Rob's opportunity to speak to you guys is unbelievably great. You've seen a lot of videos with Rob that he's put up on this channel that he talks about things that are deep down in his heart and soul. And this time we want to talk together about those things. So I love you guys. Thank you for watching this. We're at a cemetery because it's so peaceful. Although we do hear things, it's still peaceful. It's still a nice tranquil night. Rob works tomorrow, so he's out here. It's midnight now. And I said to Rob, I go, oh man, I forgot that you work tomorrow. And he's like, no, it's all right. But so just to kind of give you guys an example of how important we find these vlogs that we do for you and for us, that we come out in the middle of the night at a cemetery. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoy this. We're going to talk about things. You're going to learn a little bit more about Rob and myself. And thank you so much, because though my heart's troubled sometimes, I know that there's people out there that have more challenges than we do. And with that being said, we love you guys, and man, this is cool that we can do this. Let's do it. Peace. Rob's starting off. Rob's got this O-light that's got 3100 lumens.
3200.
I'm sorry, 3200 lumens. And then this one here that I have, this O-light, has 2100.
Yeah.
So this light goes for distance, and then Rob's light goes a little closer, but it lights up this whole place. So let's give an example of these two. So this is this light, and we want to do them in conjunction with each other. Let's see what it does. Let's see how it lights up this whole cemetery. Look at this. It's crazy, right? These are like the most amazing. It's like walking with the sun.
Yeah. This is the latest one they sent us. This is the Seeker 2. This is actually the Desert Tan. This is a special edition one they're releasing for the July sale I'm going to do a review on.
Okay.
But this is designed actually for home use, really. So it's a smaller beam, only goes 250 meters, where that one's designed for outdoor use. The handle's designed to go into a holster, actually for a weapon to put on a rifle.
This one is. Yeah.
So this one goes out to 1,000 meters, but this one's brighter. So.
Yeah, so we'll give you an example. So like this one you could see like way down in the cemetery. And that's so awesome.
Yeah.
And then the one that Rob has, you can see something closer and brighter. So.
And then like if you get this one, I think that what they're running is like if you get this one, you get this guy too. This is the i3 EOS. This is 90 lumens, but it's a keychain light. It comes free if you buy one of these.
Yeah, and that thing lit up the whole place. Now remember, guys, it's not the size of your light. Okay. And anyway, we're walking in here. We're not really doing a ghost hunt video.
Yeah.
Although you never know what we pick up. I mean, that's that goes without saying. But it's a cool place to do it. There's so much on our minds, so much we want to talk about. And I love these opportunities. Now, we've done videos here in the past, and you'll probably recognize this place. There's a fountain over here. There's that awesome cross over there. There's definitely been voices here and stuff, but tonight we're focusing on you guys. So, but of course, as always, if you hear anything, you see anything, you can mention it in the video. But we're talking tonight, and we're probably gonna stand over here for a while, do a little talking. It's so much better than sitting on our lanai. And of course, what video wouldn't be great without a huge spider?
One thing I like about this cemetery is they really take time to like decorate for all the seasons and stuff.
Yeah.
There's always seems to be more statues.
Yeah, and this cemetery is beautiful, and it's super, super creepy all at the same time. But it is really neat. But I'm gonna set the camera up for us, and you guys get to experience us at the cemetery talking to you. All right. All right, so I think I'm pretty well centered and level. Okay, cool.
Oh, look at that. Look at that web. That's crazy.
Rob just discovered a huge web.
It's disgusting.
It's disgusting. It's nasty.
It's got egg sacs in it.
It's got egg sacs in it. It's pretty nasty. So, all right then. All right, guys. So, hey, thanks for joining us tonight. Now, we're not really sitting down. Rob's looking at spiders, and there's some massive spiders here in Florida.
Huge egg sacs.
Huge egg sacs. So, anyway, tonight, guys, we're each going to get an opportunity to talk a little bit. And one of the things that's so hard on the live stream, first of all, I can never see the comments. Second of all, they come so fast.
Yeah.
Third of all, we sometimes do these videos, and we do these videos at like places that like are haunted, and you know, so there's so much going on. So, with that being said, one of the things that was on my mind every morning I get up, and my routine is I get up and I have a cup of coffee and I pray, and I always try to think about things, you know. Also, right now, the only thing that I am doing is YouTube. So I have a lot of time to think about things, you know. And the first thing that I thought of is, in your life, in my life, in my belief, so you have to put God first in your life. And I'm not a person to preach to you, so I don't want you to feel like this is preaching to you. You certainly are entitled to your own beliefs, own opinions. But my opinion is you need God in your life, and I'm going to elaborate on that. But before I elaborate on that, I think there's a fine line between being somebody who is religious or has a faith to being somebody who's a hypocrite. And I told myself I'll never be a hypocrite. I don't pass judgment on people. I find that oftentimes in life there's people who pass judgment, and you know, you become holier than thou. Never been my belief. And I'll start with this, and I'm going to talk a little bit about some personal stuff and what goes through my mind, and you get to know me better, and then Rob will do the same. So my faith, I'll start with that, my faith. A lot of people ask me about my faith. There's been people who said, wow, how can you do ghost hunting show and profess to be a Christian? My question to you is, how could you profess to be a Christian and criticize me as a hypocrite and watch a ghost show? I mean, it's kind of weird, right? So I think that the human psyche, like people, sometimes people, to feel better about themselves, I believe they go out of their way to, justify it. Like, because I feel guilty that I'm watching a ghost show, I'm going to go ahead and lash out at this person. So, hey, God's going to forgive me for watching this because, I'm a good Christian. I did watch it, but it's his fault, kind of things like that. But I'm going to talk about my faith and why I have faith and why I think it's important. So, when I was a kid, and this is real personal stuff, I was 17 years old and my girlfriend got pregnant. And the first thing that I thought in my head was, man, I am so scared to tell my parents that this situation's going on. And I went to see my religion. I'm going to keep the religion out of it, but I went to see my religious leader, if you will, right? Because I don't want to bring in anything too personal or put somebody's faith in question or anything like that, right? So I went to see this religious leader and I said, hey, my girlfriend's pregnant, I'm really scared, and basically was told at that time, 17-year-old kid, well, like I was a sinner and I was a bad person, but I was smart enough when I left there, and I remember getting in my car and I remember thinking to myself, wow, how could this person, he's just a person, how could this person tell me this? And I thought about that long and hard, and I said, wow, I could have a relationship with God, and I don't need a man to tell me what God is going to think of me. So it's always been my premise. So when we do these videos, I always felt that the prayers that we put in there are really important for me. And sometimes people say, hey, they like it, sometimes they don't. Sometimes people question and say, well, how could you do this if you profess to be a certain, Christian, and the truth of the matter is that that's my belief. Now, it may not be your belief, but that's my belief. So I did want to address that. But it goes in line with what I want to talk about tonight. One of the things that I feel so important is to always put out a positive message. We talked about this so many times in our videos, and one of the things about being on YouTube or being in the spotlight or being known is the fact that people judge everything you do. Craziest things like, I don't like the way you talk, I don't like the way you do this, or, and then there's a lot of people that say, hey, I love what you do, right? So it's kind of like this weird thing that goes on in your life, like you constantly get a barrage of both, And, but then I thought about that and I said, well, what's really important? And it's really not me, it's really not Rob. I mean, we're important, but the important thing is the people that watch the videos, right? Because if we make content for people, we want to make sure that that content is always gonna, whatever you believe about the content, we just want to make sure that we're putting out great content. And then I said to myself, wow, Joe, you're no good. Today, that was my thought in my head. My head said that I was no good. And the reason why in my head I said I was no good is because there's so many people out there who go through so many, like, trials and tribulations and things that they have to deal with every day. And I talked about my trials and tribulations, and the things that I want to achieve. And I said to myself, wow, I'm really not good unless I talk about these things with you guys, because really what message am I giving if I'm not giving it from my heart, So what we'd like to talk about tonight is so many different things, and sometimes my heart's heavy. I did tell you guys I sometimes suffer from depression. I really shouldn't even say sometimes, because when you suffer from depression, you have depression. Some days are better than others, and but I thought about with my faith and everything, and what is the most important thing is that I give you the opportunity to hear this message. And the message is important, guys. You know, there's so many people that reach out to us that are in unfortunate situations. And there was something that happened today that really prompted this video, and that was there's been people who are disabled that actually watch our videos, and there were people attacking these disabled people, and it's a hateful thing, you know, saying, oh, you're no good, or making fun of people. And I can guarantee you this, and this is an actual fact. Rob and I are probably some of the toughest people you'll ever meet. We're nice, we're sweet, but if you're attacking people who are less fortunate, you have to face us, and we could find out who you are, and we could expose your wonderful life. But we're not going to do that. But don't make us do that. Because, you know, I can't feed off somebody who's powerless to defend themselves. And there's people that do that. And I want to address something. There is a network of people that try to hurt other people. There's one thing trolling a channel and saying, oh, these guys are the worst. But when you're attacking people, the problem is that you're taking it too far. And there's been people that reached out to us that recently said, hey, you know, I made a few comments on your channel, and somebody reached out to me and said I was bad, and, you know, made fun of me, or made fun of that I'm disabled, or that I talk away a certain way, or, you know. And the thing is that's just wrong. So I don't want to, again, this is a positive message video, but that has to be addressed, guys. And you know, the thing about it is, here's the funny part about it is that you can troll us and do things like that. And again, this is not about trolls or anything like that. But if you're hurting somebody, we know how to find out who you are. And do you want to be where we are in the spotlight, where everybody can judge your wonderful life? Because you see, the problem is the people that do that are miserable. The people that do that are low down, disgusting, and they're not happy with themselves. And that troubled my heart today, enough so, and Rob so, to prompt this video. So again, that's not the message of the video, but it does have to be addressed. I hate standing on camera and having to talk about these things, but I have to, because we have to defend people who don't have the ability to defend themselves, and that's not right. So when I said to myself, I said today, hey man, you're no good because you've got to do something. And yeah, we would do something about it. We want to put out that message of good. I lived a life where I've done a lot of things in my life, and I'm 50 years old. I'm no kid anymore. And the crazy thing about it is how fast time goes, guys. It's you know, everybody can attest to that, right? Time flies. And sometimes I look at my life, and where my depression comes in sometimes in my life that hurts me is the choices I've made. I've made some very bad choices in my life at times. Who hasn't? We're human beings. So I kind of chronicle my life in a certain way, like, there's that Joe, then there's that Joe, now there's this Joe, and then there was that Joe. And what I mean by that is sometimes I feel like my old life was a million years ago. I used to be a family man. I used to be 9-to-5 guy, house, kids. Never thought in a million years that I'd be standing here in front of this camera. Thought I saw something. Never thought I'd be standing in front of this camera, talking to you. But I always knew in my heart of hearts that someday I'd talk to millions of people. And I do now. It's crazy, you know. And then with that comes that, well, you're no good unless you give them right from here, right? So I can tell you this much, guys. Life is fast, life moves rapidly. Sometimes in life, we get wrapped up. We forget about what's important. See, it's not, money's great because it gives you opportunity to do things, but it's really not about money. It's not about us being famous. What it's really about all along is about doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do, and there's a smidgen of a difference between the two. See, the right thing to do is that Rob gets up and goes to work tomorrow. It's the right thing to do. But the right thing to do because it's right is one step further, right? The right thing to do is that he's here tonight. He's talking to you guys with me about something that's so important. So with that being said, I'm going to let Rob have the floor for a while. I know I talk a lot, and sometimes people criticize me, go, "Oh, let Rob talk. I could tell he's wanting to talk." And it's never about that. So
Yeah.
Rob's going to talk.
Well, I've had a lot going through my mind over the last couple of days, and I actually was thinking about doing a vlog anyway, which is kind of cool that Joe and I were just happened to be on the same page with this. You know, we got a cameo request, and somebody said something to us, and it really kind of hit us hard. And then I come home and I hear, you know, about the story he just told, where somebody was attacking somebody who happened to have some disabilities, happened to have a child with disabilities, and we do have responsibilities, people in the spotlight, to really say something about that, because it's something we can't let go on, even if it's maybe not our fault, we're not causing it, but I feel I can't help but feel a sense of responsibility for that, as these are people that are supporting us, that are watching us, and then they seem to be targets by people who evidently just are miserable, because I mean you have to be pretty messed up to go after somebody's disability.
Yeah.
Especially in a very public way. You know, I have these people reaching out to us and they're in tears, and it's something that I take extremely personally. I did a video a while back, and I told the story about my mom, who happens to be one of the strongest people I know. I'm gonna try to talk about this without getting a little bit worked up, because it really is so disappointing. It makes me so angry. You know, my mother, when she was a little baby, had a subdural hematoma at a time where they didn't really know how to treat that. She was one of the first young babies to ever get a shunt, which is how they treat that. And there's complications during surgery where she suffered severe nerve damage on one side of her body, and the whole hemisphere of her brain is dead. And you know, she grew up being told, and my grandmother, who happened to be down, and actually told Joe about the whole story, went through this period of time where everyone was telling her she was going to be worthless, worth nothing. She was going to be severely retarded the rest of her life. She was never going to amount to anything. She needed to be hospitalized, institutionalized. That she was never going to be able to walk, never going to be able to talk, never going to be functionally use her hand. And fast forward to today, where you know, she's happily married. She's got 2 kids, including me, and she has a great career that she loves, and she's the happiest person that I know, always positive. And I just remember growing up and all the kids making fun of her and joking, and I'm sure growing up she had the same thing with bullies, and I remember how bad that felt. And you could see it in her eyes that it would hurt her, but she would always have a smile on her face and be super positive and fight through it and just live her best life. And it hurts me to know that there's people out there that are so low that they would ever go after somebody who has a physical disability, who has financial disabilities, mental disabilities, just anything. It's just low class. You know, and these are the same people that come to us and comment and say we're horrible people, and you know we shouldn't be doing what we're doing, and we're doing all this stuff to the fans, and then they go and they attack these poor people for nothing. For what? For liking some content, for enjoying us, for getting something. And I'm getting a little upset, but
yeah.
it hurts. It hurts me. It really does. And Joe feels the same way. I mean, it's one thing to troll us. We started doing this. We knew that was going to be something that was going to happen. But it's a completely different thing to attack innocent people for no reason. Just because you don't like content or you're unhappy in your own life. It's sad. I mean, and I've realized that there seems to be two groups of people there. You know, everyone seems to be lost in some way, and everyone has their hardships. And then there's two sets of people. There's people that look for guidance, look for a way out, look for a way to improve their lives. And then there's a second group that essentially decides that that's their identity, and they're gonna reach out and they're gonna try to tear everybody else around them down to their level. And it's unfair.
Yeah.
It's unfair, these people who are not doing anything, they're just enjoying content that's on the internet for free, by the way. And for people to enjoy, we put out a positive message and we try to keep everybody together. And most of you guys are awesome. Especially on this channel, everybody gets together and tells their stories and been very open and supportive. But what I've seen lately is just it's so disappointing, and it's so important that we come out here, we make something like this, and really express how we feel about it. And I don't know if there's really anything much we can do, except like he said, maybe start shedding some light on it, because it needs to stop. It really does. And, you're really hurting these people, and they're not doing anything. They're completely innocent. They just like our content. I mean, what's wrong with that?
So it's with what we were talking about, I think, and I'm sorry, Rob.
That's fine.
The thing about it is that everybody feels like they need to belong somewhere, and the problem is that when you have negative things and people latch onto it, they feel like they have some kind of sense of worth through something negative, and it empowers them, or I'm gonna get Joe's attention or Rob's attention, even if I have to do something negative to get their attention, or really positive to get their attention. The thing is that we want to express is that we promote positivity, and that's really important. And Rob's mom is disabled. Like, how does he feel like when he hears like people get and it's not just disabled people, but I'm just saying that was something that came to light today. A lot of times I do these shout outs in the mirrors and people are like, oh, look at Joe, he's so conceited. But it's actually, I started that for a little boy with autism who actually thinks it's the coolest thing in the world. And when I say, hey, what's up, fam? But again, that could, people, they run with that. Oh, you know what, that sounds great. Joe's really a conceited guy, So I wanted to address that because that's been brought up, and it's not really true at all. The other thing I wanted to talk about, and this is kind of great, and is every morning when I go out and I have my coffee, there's this little boy who comes over from the next. Sorry guys, so at 30 minutes this camera goes. So anyway, that's what just happened. So anyway, every morning I go for coffee, and Rob and I will have coffee out back. We'll sit down and talk. It's usually our morning ritual. And this little boy who lives, I think he's probably 3 or 4, probably 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
I would say.
and he's autistic, and he comes over, and for some odd reason, he only really talks to us. His mom and grandmother were like, you know what, every day he looks forward to talking to you guys, and he doesn't really talk to anybody at all. She's like, I've never seen anything like this. So he'll come over.
He runs right over.
Right, as soon as he walks out of the house, and we have a screened in area in the back where we sit, and he'll come up to the screen, and I'll be like, hi pals, and then we do head, shoulders, knees and toes, and he does it with me, and then we'll put on music and he dances, and that every day that brightens my day, no matter what. I get up in the morning, I could have been out till 3 in the morning filming, and then I'll get up and this little boy's there to greet me every day. And Rob. And the crazy thing about it is his mom and grandmother are like, he doesn't do this with anybody. So I used to, as a kid, you know, I was big into Hot Wheels and Matchbox. Of course, I have boxes and boxes of them in my closet. You know, I just don't let them go. And my kids played with them when they were younger, and I still have them. You know, I'm sentimental that way. I hold on to stuff. Anyway, I bring him out some cars every morning, and he puts his arms up, and he looks at me, and he jumps right in my arms. It makes me think about my little boys, and oh man, that is, it's hard, because I'm sure Rob thinks about his son, right, too. You see this little kid there, you know. And that's, to us, what's important, you know, and so we wanted to talk about that, and that makes my day. Every day, all day, I could have a bad day, and I think of this little boy who sees something in me and sees something in Rob. And with the people that watch our videos, we feel the same way. That, like, you give us a big hug, you know, when you reach out to us, and, you know, and comment on our videos and like our videos, and you know, that's so awesome. Who's talking?
It was clear talking.
Okay, we're making a ghost video. Holy cow, there's something. Alright, I'll let Rob look. I'm gonna keep talking. So those are the things that I love. You know, the touch of that beautiful child jumping in my arms, you know, and making a difference. I spent a lot of my life making bad choices. There was a time in my life that money mattered a lot to me, and I put money before a lot of things in my life that I shouldn't have. And I pay dearly for that in a lot of ways. I also, in my life, made bad choices in relationships, or how I treated relationships, or things I've done in general. And I know that each second of your life you can turn it around, right? You can make the choice to turn things around. He's freaking out. But anyway, you can make those choices any day, right? Any time of the day. You can say, hey, I choose to be this way, I choose to be that way. One of the things that's really hard for people to change is they get haunted by their past. And I'm guilty of that. A lot of times in my life, I made choices based on the fact of what I did then. And I'm the worst for beating myself up. You know, I've done that so many times in my life. There's somebody back there.
I swear, it sounded like when I went over there, it sounded like you were calling me.
All right. We're hearing voices here, which is super cool. So you get this video and a crazy ghost video.
Yeah, it's weird.
We'll walk around with a little bit for this too anyway. We might as well, because I definitely heard something too. But anyway, guys, I've haunted myself with my past. I'm the worst for that. These are my faults. I'm the type of person that will say, oh, well, you know, several years ago I've done this, and you know, I'm beating myself up about it still. And there's something there. But anyway, I know that's not the right thing, and I'm trying to change that about myself. I sometimes try to change things about myself continuously, and one of the things I try to change is like how I am with other people. Sometimes I could be too critical, sorry Rob, sometimes I could be judgmental. And we're all guilty of that, you know. We'll make an assumption or, you know. But I'm changing that about myself. I know that about myself. I know how being that way in the past was a detriment to my life. And I wanted to talk to you guys about that today because I was sitting there thinking this morning, and this little boy comes over, and you know, and I'm sitting here and I got these things in my head and I'm saying, wow, you know, all these things that have happened. And then I realized, man, what an awesome day. This little boy sees something in me, you know. I'm out there having my coffee and he comes over and he calls me pal, and he's like, hey, you know, hey pal. And you know, he always wants me to do head, shoulders, knees and toes with him. And peekaboo. Thinks it's the funniest thing in the world. I'm like, peekaboo. And he laughs. And anyway, I know it seems kind of silly, but it's the simple things that make me tickled. But I can't help but think if somebody would ever attack this boy as he gets older because he's autistic, would kill me, you know. But anyway, on that note, every second of your life is a chance to turn it around, you know. And what I learned over my life and the mistakes I made was that I made a lot of them. Could write a book called Joe's Mistakes. It'd be thicker than the Bible. It'd be huge, like War and Peace. Like, well, where do we start? But I can at least laugh at myself about it. And I'm not perfect by any means. Rob's not perfect by any means. But what we are is trying to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. I haven't always followed that. I'm trying to. I want to see, for our future, I just want to travel and, you know, make movies, make TV shows, make videos, but more than that, I just want to see my family. One of the hardest things about being on YouTube is time steals quick. What I mean by that is sometimes you're so consumed with doing videos you forget to live yourself. You forget that, you know, like, I'll edit a video, it takes me all day, and before I know it, man, bam, the day's gone, and I was out all night, and then the day's gone, and the same thing repeats over and over and over and over. But also to live our lives, take a day off. You know, when I was a kid, one of the things that I always appreciated was my imagination. And as an adult, we're taught to lose that imagination, right? That when you get older, you just, you know, you got to be responsible. And you got to go get a job and do these, you know, 9 to 5, and that's how you're supposed to live. But if you think about it, imagination is what makes our lives so different. That makes us, that's the mother of invention comes from imagination. You know, the things that we do, this camera, this light, everything is from imagination. And as a kid, I used to sit in my backyard, and my family really didn't have a lot of money. I had my Matchbox and Hot Wheels cars, and I would sit in the mud for hours and just make little towns and make up stories in my head, and I'd get sticks and make buildings, and and I was happy. So I like that. I like the creativity. I like the imagination. I say never give up your imagination. See, I think that in life, if you have imagination, you have heart, you have soul, you could do anything. See, what this life teaches us is just the opposite. See, life teaches you that, you know, you have to do things a certain way, and you have to be regimented and do what other people say, and you're going to be this cog on this wheel that goes around and around. And make your own wheel. So I'm going to let Rob talk a little bit more. I'm hearing stuff over there. And anyway, this will be edited up. I mean, we're going to ramble, and there'll be edits back and forth. And there definitely is talking.
Yeah.
Now, this cemetery that we're at, there's a road that you pull in, and it's probably an eighth of a mile, maybe a half a mile pull into here. Now, there really shouldn't be anybody here, including us. So we'll walk around and let him talk. I really heard something over here, but I'm gonna take a little look.
Oh man, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. One of the things I like about this vlog channel, especially, is because we get to have moments like this, and these are things we carry with us, and it's so important to get it out, because it does weigh on us quite a bit. All the negativity, the things we see, the things we see you guys go through, because it matters to us, because we care, because we give a shit. And it's so important. The biggest part of our brand is to put forth a positive message and show people that you can overcome your adversities, you can overcome your fear, and you can follow your passions, and you can find real happiness. No matter what's going on in your life, I believe that you can find real, true happiness. And that does require, like he talked about, it does require a lot of imagination, a lot of thinking out of the box, a lot of self-awareness too, to understand your strengths, your weaknesses. I listen to Gary Vee a lot. Gary Vee talks about how all of us are really shitty at a ton of things, but we're also really awesome at a bunch of things. And the trick is to be self-aware enough to figure that out and figure out what you can really bring to the table. And we found this. We found content creating as something that we happen to be really good at. And we've touched a lot of people. And just from the comments alone, the feedback we get on a regular basis, all the emails and the messages just telling us how much they appreciate, you guys appreciate what we do, taking you out here, taking you out of the ventures, allowing you an opportunity to take 30, 40, 50 minutes and just take a break from your lives. And also just the talks as well. I spent so much of my life living in fear, not trying anything, not doing very much anything. I didn't really get involved in a lot of sports. I kept to myself. I was an introverted person, really. I wasn't really shy so much as just really introverted. And I kept to myself, and I ended up being an extremely deep thinker as a child, and I spent a lot of time with my grandmother talking that out. But I didn't really experience life at all. And when I got to high school and in my last year, and we were going around doing our yearbooks and stuff, so many people came up to me and was like, hey, you actually seem pretty cool, and I just wish we got to know each other a little more. And that really hit home, because that was my fault. That wasn't them. That was on me. How many friendships, how many experiences, how much did I give up, in those years, simply because I didn't go out there and put myself out there. So I decided when I graduated that I was never going to do that I was going to go after as many experiences in life as I possibly could. Because, they say places like this, cemetery, these are the richest places in the world, because it's just filled with the dreams and the goals and the ambitions of people that never manifested. A lot of them are wasted. And when the day that I die, I want to be ready to let go. I want to be ready to go. My grandmother is the type of person at 72, tells me all the time, I've lived a wonderful life. I've done so many things, and if I get called home, I'm ready to go. I'm happy. And I want to be like that. No regrets. I want to leave no stone unturned. I want to go after everything. And I made it my mission. And sometimes that's hard for me to put myself out there. I wanted to do YouTube for a while, for a long time before I met Joe. And it just took someone like Joe, ready to go, to really get out there and do it. And it was the best decision I ever made. And because doing this kind of thing and putting yourself out there, man, it's scary, it's rough, and the stuff that you get back is, crazy. But that's what you gotta do, man. You gotta get out there. You gotta live your life. And you gotta go after every experience you possibly can. And that's how you find happiness. You continue to grow, you continue to take your feedback, and continue to learn and become a better person. And I mean, I love this channel. I love doing this. I've seen so many different parts of the world, done so many crazy things I never thought I would ever do, and we've become way more successful than I thought that we were going to be in this amount of time. In fact, it's so much so that, I mean, I'm overwhelmed because there's so much that needs to get done. It's wild. It's wild.
It is wild. Anyway, there's voices all around here. It's so weird. Yeah. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to also say, thank Rob for these types of videos, because Rob always, reminds me of, hey, what's important. And if it wasn't for Rob, I don't know if I would be here making these videos. I like ghost videos, and I love that type of thing. And then Rob says, hey, we got to give back. And this guy's got the biggest heart of anybody I know. So, but we wanted you to know about us. And Rob's right, you have a choice all the time, right? There's always a choice. And the choice that I'm choosing to make in my life is different than any way I've ever been in the past. In the past, I made lots of bad choices. And, keep moving forward. And that hug of that little boy every morning, God, he reminds me so much of my little boy. And we're changing that in my life. I'm changing that. Rob's changing our lives. We're gonna do these things that we need to do. Regret's a terrible thing. And spread the love, guys. That's important. I do apologize if there's people reach out to us that we don't get back to. And it's not intentional. For every person that reaches out to us, remember there's hundreds and hundreds more that reach out too. And it's hard to manage that time sometimes, but that's why we make these videos too. So you have a voice. This channel is to have a voice. And I got the pleasure to meet Rob's grandma. She's great. First of all, she's 72? 72, doesn't look 72. She looks like Rob, but she looks really young for their age, and it's awesome. And she tells such great stories.
Oh yeah.
She gets your ear, you're done.
You got caught about the stories.
You're done. But they're all great stories, and every story that she's told me had the same exact response. She was a veterinarian, and she talks about how she got kicked by a mule, and she was the only female at that era in her life, and they didn't trust her because she was a female, and how she went in and took care of business. And then she says, because of that I have my hip hurts now, but you know what, I wouldn't change it for the world. So don't change things because you want to experience things. In other words, what I'm trying to say, and I guess I'm getting lost in my words, but her experiences that she told me about brought her the greatest joy. Sometimes the road less traveled is the road to take. And it's a scary road, guys. But, so if anybody does get any kind of negative thing, just remember it never comes from us. The people that do this, we do block, but then they make another name and they come back again, and and it's designed by people who are stuck in that rut. You should almost feel sorry for them. It's like a sad thing. But we wanted to speak for the people who don't have a voice. Remember, I said earlier in this video, I cannot feed off the powerless. I would never do that. I would never, and Rob would never do that. We can't. It's just not who we are. It's not what we do. So with that, guys, I always say go in love and peace. Love one another. Put out a positive message. Make changes in your life. It's never too late. It seems like it's too late, but it's never too late to say, hey, I'm going to be different. it's never too late to say, hey, you know what? I made mistakes. I'm okay with that. I'm human. I made mistakes, and we all make mistakes. And guess what? You're gonna make more mistakes. Fail hard. You know. It's like Michael Jordan says, people don't really remember too much of the shots that he missed, right? You know, it's something like that. Every shot that he didn't take is a shot that he missed. But every shot that he took was an opportunity to make it. So make that shot, miss that shot. But whatever you do, always remember that it's never too late. Make the change, do the right thing. And with that being said, I'll let Rob close this out. Thanks to Rob that these videos do exist for you guys, because Rob puts a lot of effort into these videos. You know, Rob and I were talking, and we talked last week, and most of the ghost videos you see are with me, and Rob said, hey, you know, I feel bad about that, I'm going to change that, and he is. And on the same note, I owe him the same thing for these videos, because these are the videos we talked about originally. So I'm just as guilty. And so with that being said, guys, love you so much. I really do. You make my day brighter. I suffer from depression, and you bring sunshine into my life. Just like that little boy who comes running over every morning and says, hey, pal. And you know what? With that, we're gonna be part of our family more so than ever. One of the things that I've always done in my life was be selfish. And I'm choosing not to be selfish. Love you guys so very much. I'll let him have the closing.
Yeah. I guess I'll leave you with this. I mean, one thing I did want to say, in light of kind of everybody who's kind of been beaten down, including us, I'm going to say that if you're out there, and I'm sure there's tons of people out there like this, and you feel broken and beaten and lost and downtrodden, and you feel alone, and you feel like you just can't go anymore, we do this for you, and we've got your back. We have a lot of love for you, a lot of love for all of you guys, because again, without you guys, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be doing this. We wouldn't be successful like we are. You mean the world to us, and that's the truth. You allow us to live our dreams, and we want to give back and push you guys to live your dreams and your passions, and just, again, just find real happiness in life, for sure. And, you know, I'm going to say you're made for something. Each and every one of us have a piece in this world. You're a light in this world, and I'm going to say shine bright. I mean, stand tall, chin up, chest out, and you walk proud, because you are worth something in this world. And we aim to be as successful as we can be, and we aim to just motivate you guys and pull you guys, as many people as we can, with us, and just do our little bit to make the world a brighter place. And, I love you guys, and I really appreciate the opportunity to even do this kind of stuff. And it really does mean the world to me, Joe. Thank you so much. All right, we're gonna get out of here.
Let's do it.
Hashtag fam strong, stay strong.
All right, love you guys.
Love you guys.
Have a good night.